But for just a brief instant in eternity today, many of us saw the pen of history indelibly inscribe the name of Robert H. Jackson and then move on with the rest of the world. As that historical quill wrote, we all knew the name of Justice Robert H. Jackson would live forever.
Throughout this past year, the Robert H. Jackson Center has continued to advance the universal ethos of equality, fairness, and justice. Sustaining the collective modes of exhibitions, seminars, and local outreach programs have furthered the center's mission to increase the social significance of these ideals, which were personified by the late Justice.
2 new exhibits debuted within the past year. The Paper Trail of a Trial examines the personal collection of Father Moritz Fuchs, who served as Jackson's bodyguard during the Nuremberg trials. Also, in November, the Art of Social Propaganda debuted, decorating the walls of the center with posters from both World Wars that demonstrate the importance of propaganda for governments in times of war.
Within the past year, several people involved with the center were able to partake in a trip to Nuremberg. The trip took place on September 30, October 1st and was dedicated to the 75th anniversary of the final judgment of the International Military Tribunal. In Nuremberg, the Jackson Center representatives, along with the International Nuremberg Principles Academy, hosted 2 high-profile roundtable discussions on further legal implementation of the judgment and its impact on international criminal law. Presented raised different issues, starting with the intersection of law and politics and ending with the living legacy of Nuremberg. Also, this discussion was joined not only by the currently active but also by the former international prosecutors.
The Center's programming within the past year included numerous continuing legal education seminars, as well as webinars, each on various topics. Noted speakers this year have included Brian A. Garner, Jonathan Meyerson, Trini E. Ross, and the Honorable Jeremiah J. McCarthy. And noted seminars have included panels on the 75th anniversary of the verdict of the International Military Tribunal with numerous luminaries. The Cold War Secrets Revealed event proved popular as well, featuring many well-known speakers. Our most recent speaking event was the annual Alan March Brown Lecture, which featured Richard Overy.
The Tea Time Speaker Series featured 2 different programming themes.
The Work Left to Do, which concluded in 2021, hosted speakers such as David Sierra, Raymond C. Pierce, Marcy Roth, and Don Skaggs. Conversations encompass broader perspectives of equity gaps in education, disability rights, and restorative justice to understand prevailing universal and legal challenges. The ongoing Democracy on Trial series, introduced in the former half of the year, features speakers such as Atiba Ellis, David Crane, Stefan Lindberg, Alex Spados, and Caitlin Stauffer. Continuing discussions include freedom of speech, importance of judicial diversity, and voting rights.
As the Center's programming continued to progress post-COVID, we were glad to be back and participating in Doors Open Jamestown. Thank you to everyone who came out and participated.
This year, for the Center's annual fundraiser, we held the Fashion Fantasia event, where we netted more than $14,000 from ticket sales, auction proceeds, donations, and sponsorships. Thank you to Macy's and Chico's for donating clothes, and thank you to all of the local models who participated.
Amongst local schools, we held the 17th Annual Young Readers Essay Contest, as well as the Battle of the Books events for 6th to 8th graders. As in years past, the Center also held multiple Living Voices educational programs focusing on topics such as immigration, the Holocaust, the suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, and the internment of Japanese Americans. The Robert H. Jackson Center was also able to offer the Living Voices program to Warren County schools due to a generous donation from Worley Industries. Lastly, as Jamestown considers becoming a resettlement city for refugees, the center hosted a discussion with Karen Angelina Scott, the CEO of Journey's End Refugee Services.
Throughout this year, the Robert H. Jackson Center welcomed 2 new employees and 5 new summer interns. Tina Downey was appointed Director of Development in the spring of 2022 to oversee the center's development activities and to facilitate and coordinate the strategic direction of its fundraising efforts. The center's second addition this year is Lori Savory. She started out as the communication manager in January after photographing events at the center for several years. Lori manages the social media channels and creates graphics for the center's programs, among other duties.
As always, the Center would like to thank our donors for their generosity and the board for their support of all of our endeavors. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to the community for allowing us to continue the work and legacy of Robert H. Jackson. Thank you all.